Let me start with a sentence I hear almost every day from neurotypical spouses in a neurodiverse relationship. She goes, well, I tell him how I feel, but it's like he doesn't even hear me. And then I hear this from the ASD husband. He goes, well, I hear her words, but I don't know what I'm supposed to do with them. Or she tells me how she feels, and I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do based on how she feels. So if this sounds familiar, then this video is for you. Because this isn't about being cold, uncaring, selfish, insensitive, narcissistic, or emotionally broken. This is about logic and emotion speaking two different languages. So today, I'm going to show you exactly how to translate emotional needs into logical language and how to translate logic back into emotional safety so both partners finally feel understood. In all neurodiverse relationships, one partner processes the world primarily through emotion and the other one processes primarily through logic. That doesn't mean the ASD husband lacks feelings. It means that feelings are not his organizing system for information. Here's the key insight most couples miss. Emotional language often sounds vague, inefficient, or confusing to a logical brain, and logical responses often feel dismissive or invalidating to an emotionally based partner. So when you, the NT wife, say, oh, I feel lonely, what your ASD husband may hear is problem statement without data, parameters, or a solution. And when he responds with, I was at work all day, what you hear is, your feelings don't matter. No one is wrong here, but both partners are speaking past each other. Here's why emotional conversations often crash in neurodiverse relationships. Most emotional sharing relies on tone, facial expression, implied meaning, emotional reciprocity, and intuition. But an ASD brain needs clear definitions, concrete examples, cause and effect logic, specific expectations, and measurable outcomes. So when your emotion is expressed without structure, his logical brain freezes. Not because he doesn't care, but because he doesn't know how to respond correctly. And silence, shutdown, or defensiveness kicks in. Now let's get practical. I'm going to give you a 4-step translation framework you can use immediately. Step 1, name the emotion briefly. Keep it simple, one word or phrase, instead of, well, I feel ignored and abandoned and overwhelmed. Try, I'm feeling lonely. Step 2, attach a specific trigger. Logic needs data. So instead of saying, well, you never connect with me, try, okay, when we go 3 days without talking after dinner, and you want to fill in the blank with your thoughts on that. Step 3, translate emotion into impact. Explain why it matters. For example, when that happens, I start to feel disconnected and anxious about us. Step 4, make a concrete request. This is the most important step. For example, what would help me is 10 minutes of focused conversation after dinner 3 times a week. So now, putting all this together, here's your script. I'm feeling lonely. When we go several days without talking after dinner, I start to feel disconnected. What would help me feel closer is 10 minutes of focused conversation 3 nights a week. That is emotional truth translated into logical language. Let me tell you what does not work. Hinting, emotional dumping, testing your partner, expecting mind reading, expecting heart reading, and saying, you should just know. Those strategies assume emotional intuition in your ASD spouse. Logic doesn't work that way. Clarity is not unromantic, clarity is kind. So to the NT wives out there, when your ASD husband responds with logic, problem solving, or explanations, it doesn't mean that he doesn't care. What it means is, hey, I'm trying to fix the problem because that's how I show concern. So when he says something like that, instead of you hearing, well, you're wrong to feel this way, try hearing, I'm trying to understand and make this better. You may still need emotional validation, why wouldn't you? But recognizing intent can lower the emotional temperature of the conversation. So big point here, neurodiverse communication isn't about changing who you are. It's about learning to translate. When emotion gains structure, logic can engage. When logic is seen as effort, not rejection, connection becomes possible. So this is how couples stop arguing about feelings and start actually understanding them. If this video helped you, like, subscribe, and check out the next video on emotional validation without emotional overwhelm. You're not broken. You're just speaking different languages, and languages can be learned. Would you like to schedule a paid private coaching session? This will be in the form of a face-to-face Zoom call. Underneath any of my videos, you'll see this Calendly link. If you click on that link, It'll open up my calendar. You can pick the available days and times that works for your schedule. You'll get a follow-up email immediately after purchasing a session that will have the Zoom link that coincides with the day and time that you picked. I will get an email too that you scheduled a session, and I will be available on that exact day and time, and we will talk. I look forward to working with you.